Okay, this week's Parsha is Parshat Tetzaveh, and it goes through all the Britei Kahuna. You know, the Kohen Gadol wore 8 begadim, and the Kohen Hedjid wore 4 begadim, and one of the begadim that the Kohen Gadol wore was the tzitz. And it says a pasuk by the tzitz, Tetzaveh Ametzach Aharayim v'nasa Aaron es avoda kadoshim asher yakdishu b'nei Yisrael v'chal matnes kadashayim v'haya amitzchai tamid. And the tzitz will be on his forehead, tamid, always. Now, if you read the pasuk, it's hard to understand because the tzitz was not constantly on the Kohen Gadol's head. Only when he was doing the avodah he wore it. Otherwise, he didn't wear it. So, what does it mean? V'haya mitzchai tamid l'rotza and lehem lefnei Hashem. So, it's a big machlokes in the Gemara that if the tzitz, when the Kohen Gadol wore the tzitz, it was mechaper on a certain averis. As a machlokes in the Gemara, if it's only when he was wearing it, even if it was off. So, if only when he was wearing it on his head it was mechaper, so that it's even hard to understand the pasuk. V'haya mitzchai tamid. It wasn't constantly on his forehead. So Rashi says, brings down a Gemara in Yuma. The Gemara says, what does tamid mean? Melamed she'imashmesh boi ba'oidei al mitzchai shleisiach daite v'menu. That while it's on his head, while the Kohen Gadol is wearing the tzitz, it has to be tamid. That means he has to always have in mind, and not to take his mind off the tzitz that he's wearing. That's what the Gemara says in Yuma. And then the Gemara goes on. The Gemara says,
Did he wear tefillin all the time also?
he wore tefillin, yeah. With the tzitz, he wore tefillin. So then
if he had a hesach hadas, then the avodah would be possible.
the hesach hadas is even not b'shas avodah. Even let's say he wasn't doing the avodah right now. He was walking around in the Beis Hamikdash.
So he didn't know what the tzitz.
He wore the tzitz. I'm talking between avodas. Let's say he didn't just take it off every second. He wore it. He wore the tzitz the whole day.
If he had a hesach hadas,
He wore the tzitz the whole day because he was doing avodah. The Kohen Gadol was doing
avodah
avodah.
that we do after that would be possible.
No. If he was Mesiach Das from the tzitz, it's fine. He may be over an Isser of Amitzchai Tamid, but it doesn't mean anything he does in the future is no good. No.
But if I remember correctly, didn't the Gemara also say that even if it was hanging there?
That's what I started saying. There's a machlokes in the Gemara if the tzitz worked even if it's hanging there, and according to the Madam it doesn't work if it's hanging there, so it's shver. How does it what does it mean, Tamid?
Wouldn't that obligation compete with his obligation to have intent about doing each of the steps of the avodah?
Yeah. So what does it mean? He has to have a mind that tzitz. A mind that tzitz means the avodah. We'll get to that soon. What does it mean Mesiach Das from the tzitz? We'll get to that soon. What does it mean you have to have in mind constantly that I'm wearing the tzitz? It means you have to have in mind the avodah. And we'll get to the details exactly what it means hesach hadas in a few minutes. But the Gemara learns out from there. A person has to touch his tefillin constantly. So kavachayim from the tzitz. Umat tzitz. She'ein by ela askara achas. The tzitz has a name of Hashem on it. Chodesh l'Hashem. It says it once. Amra Torah amitzchai tamid. It should be on his forehead constantly. We learn out from there. Shalei siach daite mehem mimenu. Tefillin. Sheyesh beher askares harbe. Tefillin that has in it a bunch of Hashem's name in it. Halachas kama for sure. You have to constantly not be Mesiach Das from the tefillin. That's what the Gemara says. So the Gemara learns out from tzitz, the tefillin, the same way by the tzitz. There's an isser to be Mesiach Das from the tzitz. The same thing, tefillin, while you're wearing your tefillin, you're not going to be Mesiach Das, and not take your mind off the tefillin while you're wearing the tefillin. That's what the Gemara learns out. Now, Tosfos has a kasha on this, Kal V'chomer, and Tosfos says, Teimalid, Lifrech Imal Tzitz Kein Hashem Hu Begoli. The name of Hashem on the tzitz was in the open. It said Kodesh Hashem in the open. The Askaris, the name of Hashem that we have in Tefillin, is inside the Tefillin that's covered. So what's the Kavachayim from tzitz? Says Tosfos. By the tzitz, it was in the open. So maybe Hashem's name is in the open. You can't be Mesiach Das from it.
The Shians and stuff.
Oh, one second. We'll get there. We'll get to everything. Take it easy. You have to leave me something to say. So Taisa says, so what's the Kavachayim from tzitz? You're right, tzitz only has one, and tefillin has a bunch, but the one that you have by tefillin, says Taisa, is in the open. But tzitz, I mean, it's in the open, and the ones you have in the tefillin are covered. So says Taisa, but nearly the Einek Kavachayim Gomer Daraisa, says Taisa says, this Kavachayim that we have, they have to be mashmash with tefillin. You can't be Mesiach Das with tefillin. It's not a Kavachayim, it's not a real Kavachayim, because we have a pircha, we have a question on the Kavachayim. Ela Midrabanan, it's a din Drabanan. So Taisa says the whole Kavachayim from the tzitz, the tefillin, is only a din Drabanan, and it's not a din Daraisa. Taisa Shita. Because of this question on the Kavachayim, the Rambam argues in Taisvis, and the Rambam says it's a very good Kavachayim, and we answer Taisvis Kasha other ways, and the Rambam says that the Kavachayim from Tzitz is a real Kavachayim, and it's a din Dairaisa. So the same way when the Kohen Gadol is wearing the Tzitz, he's now be Mesiach Das. The same thing when you wear Tefillin, you're now be Mesiach Das from the Tefillin. Machlokes we're showing you it's a din Dairaisa and a din Rabbanan. And we'll see in Nafkamina soon. One of the truths they give to answer Taisvis is that the Kavachayim is not saying one has one shame and one has a bunch of shames. So therefore, because of the bunch of shames, because of the askaris, you have to be careful not to Mesiach Das. It's just proving to us that tefillin is more chashuv than the tzitz, because it has a lot more askaris in it. So that's how we answer the Rambam. It's just a deraisa. Let's put that aside for now. So we have a chalak in the Rambam if the Kavachayim from tzitz is a deraisa or if it's a derabanan. Now let's understand what does it mean to be Mesiach Das, and what does it mean l'mashmeish b'tzitz. The same way you have to touch the tzitz, you have to be mashmeish in your tefillin also constantly. There's two things here. There's one thing being mashmeish b'tefillin, that means touching it and remembering you're wearing a tefillin. There's another thing not to be Mesiach Das in the tefillin, not to take your mind off the tefillin. Two separate things, and we'll discuss both of them. So first,
according to what you just said before, that Mandamar says that the tefillin is more chashuv than the tzitz. That's what it's proving.
Yeah.
Then by extension, the tefillin should be mechaper the same way the tzitz does, or even more so.
No, it's different dinam.
Like I'm just.
Yeah, no. The fact that tzitz is mechaper.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking the question.
Okay. No, the tzitz is what it does. Even though it's more chashuv, doesn't mean it has to do the same job that the tzitz is doing. Tefillin has its own job. Yeah, okay. That means all the jobs that tzitz does, it's tefillin should do. So let's start off with the mamashmesh. It says you have to touch your tefillin like you touch your tzitz, and that's a way of remembering that you're wearing the tefillin. Now, when do we do that? When do we touch that tefillin?
Different places.
There's different Ashrei, Shema. There's different times that we touch the tefillin. So I just want to clarify. So I want to clarify what's Iker Hadin, what we see the Mekaris in Halacha, and what is totally different minhagim. What's totally different minhagim? So the Mishmur brings down already that there was a minig that they didn't put on the tefillin till they said the bracha Aita Yisrael b'Safara, Aita Yisrael b'Gevura. That means they said all the brachas, they stopped before Aita Yisrael b'Gevura, they would put on the tefillin, and then they would say those two brachas. Says the Mishnah Berurah, today we don't have the minig anymore. We don't do that. We put it on tefillin before the brachas, before we say the brachas. But it says,
when did they switch?
To put on the tefillin only right before the bracha of Aita Yisrael b'Gevura. Rak menichin tefillin kaidem brichas hashachar. Ayachakach. Rak, he says, Re'isi medaktikin the mashmesh b'tefillin shal yad v'shal rois b'shar shemevarach bracha zu. I see people are medaktik when you say Aita Yisrael b'Gevura, you touch the tefillin shal yad, and when you say Aita Yisrael b'Safara, you touch the tefillin shal roish. That's one thing that's brought down when you touch the tefillin. The other thing is brought down in the Mechaber. The Mechaber says in Hilchos Kriyishma that Kishayoymar ukshartem li'ois al yadecha, when you say the words ukshartem li'ois al yadecha, yimashmesh b'tefillin shal yad, ukshayoymar v'hayu l'tatafes ben einecha, yimashmesh b'shel roish. Shatash tefillin shal yad, Kshatim L'Sayidecha, and Vayul Tavs Be'enachi, Tashat Tefillin Shel Roish. That's the Mechaber. So you have here a Mechaber, Mr. Brewer brings down also minig to touch it by Eizeh Yisrael and Eizeh Yisrael B'Safara. Then you have Pesach Tzedecha, which is also brought down. When you say Pesach Tzedecha must be Chol Chayrotzayin, it's brought down, you touch the tefillin. And there's another time, which is Yetzer Arav Aricheshach, is brought down to touch the tefillin. The beginning of Brichas Krishma is also another time it's brought to touch the tefillin. And there's other times, you say by some people say before you start Shemona Esrei, you should touch the tefillin. You should remember you're wearing a tefillin before you touch Shemona Esrei. But the main times that are brought down is Eizeh Yisrael B'Gevura, Eizeh Yisrael B'Safara, Kriya Shema, and Pesach Tzedecha must be Chol Chayrotzayin. Yetzer Arav Aricheshach also is brought down, but not everybody has that minig to touch the tefillin then. That's the mashmech, the tefillin, the chol shah.
When did this change happen of putting on the tefillin?
It's from the Rishonim really. We use that from the Rishonim that they didn't do it. I don't know if it's changed. It could be, the Mechaber brings down.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, no, it's Israel we don't do it. Yeah. The Shayad. No, Mazbiel Chacharot, I touch Sharash.
Yeah.
You touch both. You touch both, yeah. Pesach Tzedecha, you touch the Shayad. Mazbiel Chacharot, you touch the Sharash.
Doesn't the lashon of mashamish the tefillin means to like move them around a little bit?
Yeah, so the mashmish means to touch it.
The mashamish.
The mashmish is to touch it, to know it's there. To realize that if you have to move it.
I thought it meant like to move it.
You have to move it up and put it back?
Move it around a little bit.
No, I don't have to move it. No, I have to touch it. I have to touch it with your hands, I have to touch it with the talus. Different minhagim, how you touch it.
Just an awareness of it.
But yeah, the reason why we're touching it is the awareness to realize that we're wearing the tefillin, and that comes from the tzitz. So it's also the Kohen Gadol had to constantly touch the tzitz to remember that it was there. That's the mashmech adam tefillin. Now, if someone forgets to touch his tefillin at those points, you don't have to have it over again. If you say Shema without saying Pesach Tzedecha, you don't have to have it over without Kshat Tzedecha. It's not an ikuv. So time, as I said, that you should be mashmish with tefillin. I remember I had a Rabbi once who said that in the Haim, the Alta Haim, the Sheikhet, they're very makbid on who the Sheikhet was. Sheikhet had to be a real Yiras Shamayim. Why? Because besides the fact the Shechita itself, but even if it was eradicate, no one else knew what was happening. No one else could know what's happening besides the Sheikhet. So if you didn't trust him, you could be eating tray for meat. So it had to be somebody who everyone accepted him as a real Yiras Shamayim. And Rabbi told me a story once in a certain city in Europe. I forgot where it was. The story I heard many years ago. He said there was once a sheikhet who was sitting there on Shabbos and he was saying Kriya Shema. And when he came to Kshatim L'Yosal Yedecha on Shabbos, he felt for his tefillin. And they chapped to Shabbos and they fired him on the spot. A person who on Shabbos doesn't realize he's not wearing tefillin and he's trying to feel for his tefillin, he's not enough of a Yiras Shamayim to be a sheikhet. Today we can't say that. Today we can't say it. Today we could say that if someone steps back 3 steps on Shabbos and he doesn't feel for a cell phone, then maybe it's Yiras Shamayim. But to touch the tefillin, I don't know about.
If I can, it shows that he's a very high level.
Yeah.
It's not showing his always on his tefillin.
Right.
I think it's a good thing.
Well, he said the person who's Friday night davening and he's a chap, he's in the wrong shmonesrei, he chaps lachlanu. The chap is in the wrong shmonesrei. Yeah. But that's the mashmech of the tefillin. That's a din that you're supposed to touch the tefillin. The second din that we have is a din of hesach hadas, which is if you someone's mesiach das, then he's doing something wrong already. Then he's over an aveira, and it could be, according to the Rambam, it's an aveira deiraisa. If you're learning out from the tzitz, that's also to be mesiach das while you're wearing the tzitz. Al kavachayim with the tefillin, by tzitz it's a din deiraisa. The question is, the kavachayim with the tefillin is a din deiraisa or not? Taisa says the Rabbanon, the Rambam says deiraisa. But if you hold this deiraisa, someone's mesiach das from his tefillin, he'll be even a din deiraisa. If you don't touch it,
You talk or you joke around.
okay, we'll see. So now I want to speak of what does it mean mesiach das.
Sure, that.
What does mesiach das mean? So there's a machlokes exactly what does it mean to be mesiach das from your tefillin. What does it mean? B'pashtus, most of the Rishayim Mashma, the Rosh is Mashma, the Mesiach Das from Tefillin means Kalas Rosh. Doesn't mean to talk out. It means what?
Frivolity. That word?
Frivolity? It means Kalas Rosh. It means that you're getting involved in things that are totally taking your mind off the Tefillin, meaning Kalas Rosh, joking around, lightheadedness. These things are called Kalas Rosh. Kalas Rosh is something that's also in the Tefillin and that everybody agrees to, and that's most of the Rishayim Mashma. That is the extent of Kalas Rosh. If someone is not of a Mesiach Das, if someone is not doing that, someone's just schmoozing around in his Tefillin, but not lightheadedly, he's a serious conversation, whether it's a business conversation, whatever it is, that's not called Mesiach Das according to most of the Rishayim. But there's a Shagas Aryeh that says, Lashon Hara for sure you can't say it. So. There's a Shagas Aryeh that says that not just Kalas Rosh is called Hesach Hadas. Hesach Hadas means anything besides something that you're supposed to be doing in your tefillah. For example, learning, davening. If someone's learning, right? Someone asked the question before. If you have to have a mind, you're wearing the tzitz the whole time. What do you mean? When you do the avodah, you have to have a mind that you're doing the avodah. Do l'shem chatos, l'shem asham, whatever carbon you're doing, you have to have that in mind. So how can you say you have to have a mind you're the tzitz the whole time? The answer is what it means to have a mind that tzitz is what I'm supposed to be doing with the tzitz. You're supposed to do the avodah with the tzitz. Having a mind that avodah is not called being Mesiach Das from the tzitz. The same thing with tefillin. Having a mind learning or davening is not called Mesiach Das from the tefillin. Even though someone got carried away in a Shavara Sugya and is learning, that's not called Mesiach Das from tefillin. That's called having the right das in your tefillin. But midi dechoil, something that's not learning or davening, let's say business, something like that, that already says the Shagas Aryeh, and that is called Hesach Hadas. And the Shai Tshuva brings it down in the beginning of this halacha, Chayv Adal L'Mashal Tefillin V'Chashash L'Seich Daita Mehem, and he brings down because of Hashem Guru Yarizal Be'ez Limud HaTorah V'Tefillah Ein Sarach Lutin Date Ba'at Tefillin. When you're learning and davening, don't think about your tefillin the whole time. You have to concentrate on the davening. You have to concentrate on the learning. That's why it says in halacha, you shouldn't be mashmish with tefillin in Miller Shemon Esrei, because then you're supposed to be davening. Then he says, the Shagas Aryeh, Sho'isir Hesach Hadas B'chol Inyan. Everything is called Hesach Hadas besides tefillah and Torah. Everything else they're doing in the tefillah is called Hesach Hadas. V'ayin v'nirsha olam, the world that doesn't go with the Shagas Aryeh, and they speak out in the tefillah other things besides learning and davening. Seinchem ezel Rabbeinu Yoina v'Rosh v'Atur lehavas Hesach Hadas ki im kishoymid b'schok v'kalas rosh. Only schok kalas rosh, lightheadedness, is called Hesach Hadas. But otherwise, everything else is not called Hesach Hadas. That's what the Shai Tshuva says. It brings down from the Shagas Aryeh, and those that are soymich on doing other things in the tefillin is because they're soymich on the Rosh and the Rabbeinu Yoina, and they don't have the chumrah of the Shagas Aryeh.
You shouldn't be talking in the basis of understanding.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
But there was a time where people wore the tefillin.
Yeah, so there's a time that people wore the tefillin the whole day.
Yeah.
When people wore the tefillin the whole day, they had to find coolness. They had to find a way out that if I want to talk to somebody about something, I could talk. Today, Sachaka, we're wearing a tefillin. If we have a long davening, we have an hour and 10 minutes, some of us wait for a half hour, but we accomplish everything in that half hour. So, today, to say we should ignore the Shagas Aryeh's chumrah of Hesach Hadas is a big chiddush. Because today you put on your tefillin, you daven, you finish davening. Anyway, you should be talking out during davening. Anyway, you should be talking in the shul. So it's not very hard to be mekayim the chum of the Shagas Aryeh. And it's interesting, I don't have in front of me the Kaf HaChaim. The Kaf HaChaim brings down a story about Hesach Hadas. And the Kaf HaChaim says there was once a person who was an ish in a very, very high madrega, and the Arizal was in Shemayim, and this person was also there, and they wanted to bring him up to the higher level of Gan Eden. And they were holding it back from bringing him up there because while he was wearing his tefillin, he said a tefillah that they weren't created for no reason. That's what he said when he was wearing his tefillin. And the Rizal said for this person, on his darga, that was called being Mesiach Das Minat Tefillin. That's what it brings down. But he says, of course, we're not holding a Dam Madrega. Of course not. But he says a very scary thing, says the Kaf HaChaim. Kaf HaChaim says, we're not holding a Dam Madrega, but every person on the Madrega that he is holding, and that he could be careful with Hesach HaDas, for that they're going to hold him accountable. That means if you're not holding a Darga of that Rizal, fine. But if you're holding a Darga that you could hold yourself back from Mesiach Das, then for that you're accountable.
Well, the lesson would be very simple. Most of the time you can do that. At certain times you don't do that. And that's obviously you can do.
Right.
That's the
Yeah, so that's a lot of people have this like pada that they don't speak out in the tefillin at all. But on your tefillin, we don't speak out. But today, that used to be a very good chumrah, because the only hesach hadas you would have in your tefillin would be speaking out. But today, the people wait till 2 hours, and they could not even think about the tefillin because they're busy with their doing business on their what's called the machines, the Blackberries and stuff. So this, if a person wants to take out his whatever his machine is over there, a Blackberry, an iPhone, whatever he wants, and he's wearing his tefillin, right? So he gets emails. You want to send back an email why he's wearing his tefillin. Okay? It's not Kalas Rosh. It's not Schoik. It's business. Someone sent him a question. He's answering. Not even business. Stop talking. So that goes into the category of the Shagas Ayas Chumrah, because there you definitely be Mesiach Das. While you're texting or while you're sending back an email, you definitely be Mesiach Das in the tefillin. What's the head you have? I'm being Mesiach Das, but not Kalas Rosh. Okay, that's fine. That's what the Rosh and the Ben Yaina. But you have the Chum of the Shagas Ayas who says Hesach Hadas means anytime you're doing anything besides davening and learning. So if it's a mitzvah, right, a doctor asks him a question, a health related issue, probably allowed to answer with his tefillin. Because that's called business. That's called you're helping somebody out. But if you're doing other things, if you're doing other things in the tefillin and you're replying to certain things in your tefillin that are emails or whatever they are, texts, whatever they are, that are not related to davening and not related to Torah, that is, according to the Shagas Aryeh, that will go into the category of Hesach Hadas. That's called Mesiach Das, but not tefillin. Now, I'm not saying you're not allowed to. Shai Tshuva brings down that we were Samich on the Rosh and the Rebbeinu Yaina. But when you go through the Kaf HaChaim and you see what he says, that if you could be holding on a certain dag and you don't hold there, then there'll be tightness to the person. Why can't you do it? So a person comes into shul and puts on his tefillin in the morning.
Holds that on everything or on this specific issue?
He says it on this issue. Okay. He says that in his days, they had a paper that they wrote in it. I think it was Kavanas Tefillin, and they would put it on the page when they daven. Every time they turn the page, they would put that on the siddur. They put it be Mesiach Das Tefillin. First should be Mesiach Das Tefillin, and it's not such a hard thing to do. A person comes into shul right before davening, he puts on his tefillin. Most of us don't learn it now with tefillin. Just put it on for davening, and right after davening we take it off. It's not such a hard thing to be makbid on, not to be Mesiach Das while we're wearing the tefillin. If you're wearing it for longer, fine. But if all you're doing is davening in the tefillin, it's not such a hard thing not to be Mesiach Das in the tefillin. It's not so hard. It's something that people should be makbid on. And especially, these emails and stuff. Today it's very easy to do Mesiach Das. You won't talk to somebody in the tefillin. People in makbid, they don't talk in the tefillin. But you can see them replying to emails constantly in the tefillin. There's no difference. It's both the same Hesach Hadas, talking, and the replying to emails is the same Hesach Hadas and tefillin, because right now you're not thinking about the tefillin, you're not davening.
There's a yeshiva in Yerushalayim where the boys wear them all the time, I think. You see them sometimes walking down the streets.
Yeah. Okay, so someone who wears the tefillin the whole day, someone who wears the tefillin the whole day, and they're not makbid the shagasai, they have a reason for it. Yeah. Because they're wearing it the whole day, and they want to talk to people, whatever they're doing, they're going to the grocery, whatever they're doing, so they have a reason why not to be makbid the shagasai, because they have to live. And we're not going to say that don't wear your tefillin the whole day because you can't be makbid. That we're not going to say. That we're not going to say. You want to wear your tefillin the whole day? Fine, wear your tefillin the whole day. It's hard to be makbid in the shag sayas chumrah. Fine, you still be mekayim mitzvah. If you wear your tefillin the whole day, you be mekayim mitzvah. But we're not doing that. We are wearing a tefillin only for davening, and not a whole day. If that's the case, we should try to be makbid, not to mesiach das, even not kalos rosh, even stam hesach das. Now, there's something we see a lot, and I'm not sure there's a makartur. We'll try to understand it. A lot of people don't speak in the tefillin. When they want to speak to somebody, they'll take their hand, lift up the shalosh, and speak to somebody, and then put it back down. People do that, right? People are not talking to tefillin, but when someone comes to speak to them, they'll pick up the shalosh, and they'll speak to the person, and then put it down. So basically, what they're doing is they're taking off the tefillin, and then you could talk out. There's no problem with hesach hadas. But the problem with that is, the problem with that is they do that to the shalosh. What happened to the shalyad?
It's covered.
So what if it's covered?
I don't know. Some people wear their sleeves.
So what does it help? It's still hesach hadas. Hesach hadas means you're wearing a tefillin, and then you take it off your mind. Who cares if it's covered?
Mind. Heart.
No, but you're wearing the tefillin. You don't think about the tefillin. It's called hesach hadas. You ever saw that?
Isn't there a sheet of the tefillin are Isn't there?
So you're saying it's wrong?
It's the machlokes, yeah.
What you're saying that means what they're doing is wrong.
No. So that's what I said. Let's see if we can master it then. Let's see if there's a reason for it.
What about the bracha?
So there's a very interesting Yeshuas Yaakov. Yeshuas Yaakov says. We started with the Taisa. Taisa says there's a kavachemer from tzitz to tefillin, and Taisa has a kasha. What is the kavachemer? Tzitz has in it askara, which is begolui. Mashayin kain tefillin, the askaras are bifnim. So the Yeshuas Yaakov comes up with a chiddush over here, and he says this halacha that we learn out from the tzitz, that it's usher to be mesiach das while you're wearing tefillin, or you have to be mashmish with tefillin kol shah. Tais has a kasha that it's that from the tzitz you can't learn out because it's begalui, and Tais says only midrabanan. Says the Yeshuas Yaakov, and nikas after b'tshuva achaz zeh yom rabim v'dishah paiskim diyesh chilik bein tefillin shal yad l'shal roish. There's a difference between the tefillin shal yad and the tefillin shal roish. The Indian, the kanes lebeis akise is talking about. So today we don't do b'chlal, but there's those days where there was outhouses that people wore the tefillin the whole day. So in halacha it's brought down if you have to take off your tefillin, if you don't have to take off your tefillin.
When you don't take off your tefillin, when you go to the
washroom, if it's covered.
In halacha you don't have to take off your tefillin when you go into the washroom. No. Only for gedolim, not for ketanim. Yeah. That's why if someone goes to use the washroom, right, for ketanim, and he comes back, you don't make another bracha on the tefillin. Why not? If you go to gedolim, he sits and uses the bathroom, then you have to make another bracha on your tefillin. But if you go use the washroom for ketanim, then when they come back, you don't have to make another bracha on the tefillin. Why not? Because any time you're allowed to wear your tefillin with what you did, then you don't make another bracha. Anytime you're not allowed to wear the tefillin with what you did, then you have to make another bracha.
No, isn't the problem going to the bathroom, the actual bathroom itself? Not the act?
No, that's a shayla. That's a shayla.
I'm going to use it. If you're going in an outdoor place where there's no smell, maybe.
Okay, so
one thing.
I didn't want to get into this, but
in an outhouse, the
halacha is if someone goes into a bathroom and he just does ketanim, he doesn't have to take off his tefillin. Gedolim, you have to take off his tefillin. Now, if he goes into a bathroom where he could do gedolim also, then there's a question.
Right.
Then maybe you have to make another bracha, because then you may have to be mechuyev to take off your tefillin, because maybe you'll end up doing gedolim also. That's what it says in halacha. You have das. You have they come back because you're not allowed to wear it there. So if you go, I have the shita ready for a long time, many years, and I asked a few poskim about it. Not everybody wants to agree with me. That if you take off your tefillin and you go to a stall, and you come out, then you don't have to make another bracha l'kuliyam, because there you cannot do gedolim. So everyone's masking, you don't make another bracha. But if you go to a bathroom,
In your
where
house.
it's not still in your house, so you go to a regular toilet, but there you could do gedolim. So there already you're mechuyev to take off your tefillin. There already you're mechuyev to take off your tefillin, even though you're only doing ketanim, because maybe you'll end up doing gedolim. So then already you're mechuyev to take off your tefillin. So there already, the halacha should be that you have to make another bracha.
Tell us.
I was just going to say, tell us.
No, talis not a problem. Talis you can wear.
People, yeah, really.
Talis you can wear. Talis you're allowed to wear. You don't have to take it off.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to make another bracha on talis. Right. Only tefillin.
Last time you saw a guy go to the bathroom.
You don't go in. You don't go in.
No,
You ever see
But you're
someone
allowed.
No.
You're allowed. The halacha is you're allowed.
No, but when you talk about
I meant how there's an answer there.
You're saying you don't have to
In fact, according to many,
No, even if you don't, you don't have to take it off.
there are a lot of
Even if you don't, you don't have to take it off. A talis you don't have to take it off. Even if you don't. We take it off. It's covered. Yeah, but the halacha, you don't make another bracha, even in gedolim, because you're allowed to wear your talis when you're in gedolim.
It has nothing to do with Kedusha. It has to do with just a comfortable thing to do.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. Besides the
Kedusha, it's not like tefillin. It's like
No, so talis, since we use it for davening, so that's covered.
But we're not concerned about the
No, you're allowed
odor. Is not
You're allowed to go gedolim with the talis. Halacha, you're allowed to. We don't do it because it's covered talis to take it off. But halacha, if you take off your talis to go gedolim, you don't make another bracha because you're allowed to wear your talis. Halacha, you're allowed to wear your talis for gedolim.
Well, if you don't walk into a Beis HaKisei.
No, even if you walk into Beis HaKisei.
On the street.
Even if you walk into Beis HaKisei. Even if you walk into Beis HaKisei. Even if you walk into Beis HaKisei, you're allowed to continue wearing your talis. It's covered, we take it off. But the benegay bracha, since you're allowed to wear it, you don't make another bracha because you're allowed to wear it even in gedolim. But tefillin is different. Tefillin by gedolim, you're not allowed to wear it, you have to take it off. So immediately you make another bracha. Okay, ketanim, you're allowed to wear your tefillin for ketanim, therefore you don't make another bracha. So therefore, I think the halacha should be, if you buy a stool where there's no gedolim, then enechlami. You don't make another bracha. But if you go into a place where it's possible to do gedolim also, the you should have to make another bracha, even if you only did ketanim.
So I can bring a sefer to the bathroom also.
No, we don't. You could bring a sefer to the bathroom. That's covered. We don't bring it in. There's two different things. There's one thing that's covered. Tashmish mitzvah. You don't bring it to the bathroom. There's nothing halacha. You have to take it off. Your tefillin when you go into the bathroom.
You have a sitter in your pocket.
You'll take it out of the bathroom.
You should.
Yeah, 100% you should. Everything you should. Unless it's a kiss with a kiss. If it's a kiss with a kiss, you're fine.
If it's double wrapped, you're okay.
Yeah, double wrapped. If it's double wrapped, you're okay.
Yeah.
It's double wrapped, you're okay, yeah.
All set to do it.
And this has nothing to do with
That's not
bad odor.
No, it does have to do with bad odors.
It does.
Yeah, for sure it does. So today's bathroom is a question. It has to do with Beis HaKisei because nothing stays there.
you can go to hotels. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It smells better than the bedroom.
That was a little sidetracked by side. Let's get back to the Yeshua Yaakov. Yeah, we got a little sidetracked. But so Yeshua Yaakov says that the Kal V'chomer from Tzitz, Taisa says the Chayr it's only a Kal V'chomer d'Rabbanan because Tzitz was Begoli. The Shem Hashem was Begoli by Tzitz, and over here it wasn't Begoli by Tefillin. It says Yeshua Yaakov that Tefillin shall roish, even according to Taisa maybe, is a deraisa. Why? Because you have the Shin. And the Dalet you have Begoli. That's open. So maybe because of that, it has the same din as sits as the din deraisa. So the Yeshua Yaakov comes out that the Shal Roish has more of a chumrah of Hesach Hadas than the Shal Yad. That's how the Yeshua Yaakov comes out. So the two nafkamis. First of all, if someone never talked to his tefillin and he picks up his tefillin and he wants to talk to somebody, yes, Amil Ismach. He has the Yeshua Yaakov. And second of all, a lot of people are makbid not talking to tefillin. They take up the Shal Roish. As they're wrapping up, they'll start talking.
That's right, sure.
What I mean, it's a Yara still on. What's happening? It's a Yara still on. What are you talking about? Torah says you can rely on the Yeshua Yaakov for that, maybe. Only the Sharosh. But this is all heter only for the Hesach Hadas of the Shar Kasari. That you're doing something else talking, not davening, not learning. But Chalash Roish and Schoik, which is that everyone agrees that the problem has Sakadas. I wouldn't rely on the Yeshua's Yaakov in such a case. If you want to do Schoik and Chalash Roish, if you have a reason why you're allowed to do it, and you want to do it, make sure the Sharoish and the Shayad are off before you do that.
And you're out of shul.
And you're out of the shul.
What is the...
Where does the yud come from? Shakai, does not involve the yud? Or it's not just the rush?
No, the rush was
Where?
The back.
The back, yeah. The
it's where in the dalit.
that's the dalit. Dalit, the back, yeah. Some of it.
So they were the square. They were square, and then they
so
were,
where's the yud?
No, the yud is the yad.
So
yeah.
So that does not tie the yad into the rush. I don't understand.
It's covered. So yad is covered. The sharesh is begoli.
But it's only two of the three letters.
He says he doesn't say the whole thing. It says the shin. It doesn't say the whole Shem Hashem is begoli. No, Shem Shin. Not the whole Shem Hashem.
That's sufficient.
That's sufficient, yeah.
If the logic is
We have a shit on our hands.
some kind of...
Yeah, Nechrami.
See this?
Yeah, I'm saying it's Kedusha as a shin on the tefillin.
If the logic is that there's some kind of cover to tefillin,
Some stuff you don't want
not
to know.
speaking when it's on your head,
Right.
what does the statement make that you lift it off your head to speak?
No, I'm not wearing it now. I'm not wearing the tefillin. You're not wearing the tefillin. It's not connected to you.
But what I'm saying is, it's the time when it's supposed to be connected to you.
No.
You're in shul, you're davening.
No, okay, but it's two different things. It's one thing the tefillin that's connected to you, while it's connected to you, a different person. You're wearing tefillin, you can't be saying das.
it's giving cover, not to
Nothing to do with tefillin. You can hold the tefillin in front of you. If you hold the tefillin in front of you,
I don't think it's giving it cover to take it off because I want to have a conversation with somebody.
No, you're not. If you hold the tefillin,
That tells in principle, that tells it to tefillin.
if you're holding,
we don't have a conversation at any time.
if you're holding the tefillin in your hand, right?
Today I don't.
Right.
You're not talking in front of it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm taking it off my head and putting it back on so that I can chat without it on. What does it tell us at that point?
Because you're not being Messiach das. While you're wearing the tefillin. Now I'm not wearing the tefillin. Now I'm not wearing the tefillin.
But what is the issue of Messiah Das? It's a lack of cover for the...
No, while you're wearing the tefillin, you're not being Messiach das. But if I take it off, you can do whatever you want.
So you can go to the washroom with the tefillin
You
and
have to keep on thinking about it while you're doing the mitzvah.
No. We don't take anything into the washroom. The Gemara talks about times where there was no place to put it. Of course, if you could leave it outside, you leave it outside.
Not today.
They could have been
No, not
stolen.
today. But the halacha doesn't change today. That you're allowed to do if you have no place to put your tefillin, right? I'll give you an example.
What happens in the airport?
I'll give you an example. Airport.
You're in the airport. There's no one there to watch the film.
You're
What are
in
you
the
going to do
airport.
if you have to
You're
go to
in
the
the
back?
airport. You're allowed to bring a tefillin with you.
You're allowed to do it. It's in a two. It's a double.
Doesn't
Even if it's
matter.
not.
That's
Even if
true.
it's
But
not.
if it was, also
Even if
you
it's not.
didn't do that.
Yeah.
It has to be. How can it not be?
Okay, so because we have it today, it's always like
It's in the back, don't while.
Yeah, and the Chami. And the Chami.
Not
You take it in with you.
It's filled on there.
This is
What if you forgot
Actually,
your
you
bag?
get down in the bathroom that way. No one will bother you. Go to the stall, and you're all set, right?
Yes, you're allowed to bring it in.
Deafening area.
Right?
Yeah, if you double cover the toilet.
We don't bring it in. We don't bring it because we have a different eitzah. We can leave it outside. But if you can't leave it outside, the halacha is you're allowed to bring it in.